anybody let me sleep. They're always around. They're making noise.
Oh, we're live.
So, oh yeah. Well, I hope you have some people come on and ask us anything.
Yeah,
so
I hope so too.
Well, it's nice to get a chance just to talk about EMF for a little while.
I know, it is, and just nice to talk to other people that I know from EMF.
Right. Yeah, we really count on our summer. It's like I always tell people it's like camp for us too. The faculty, even though we're called faculty, we're at camp too, and we really love it too.
It's definitely home away from home.
That's right. And speaking of which, I was thinking today, remember the summer where you lent me your bicycle?
Oh, yeah.
When I lived in California. And I don't know what I did with my cello case, because I remember flying with a big honking shipping case. I must have mailed a soft case, and I bought your bicycle. And that's how I got around for the summer. So, I usually do a little bit of biking, but so what's happening?
So basically, let's just introduce ourselves. My name is Melissa Edwards. I am the Director of Education for Eastern Music Festival. So anything involving admissions, applications, scholarship, what do I do? Where do I go? That comes through me. So I will see your names, any applicants see your names constantly in the next couple of months. So, but definitely ask any questions you have about the application process or anything you just want to know about EMF in general. Just ask them in the comment and chat section, and we will address them. And then I will open it up to introduce Amy Baumgarten, who's one of our faculty members who's been on board with us for many years. And you can just tell them a little bit about yourself.
I know, it's hard to believe. I started on the faculty in 1992, and I am usually coaching sectionals and cello, playing chamber music, sometimes coaching chamber music as well. But here's somebody coming in. Hello, KBBO oboe mentor. Is it? Oh, it might be. I can't. Oh,
Karen. Amazing.
Hi, Karen.
Who are you?
And so, I thought I would talk a little bit about the daily life of an EMF student, because it really matches the daily life of a professional musician in many ways. And so at EMF, I think the students have very similar daily schedule, although of course they're not teaching, but they're attending rehearsals and constantly interacting with other musicians. I feel that the ratio of students and faculty allows students to have a lot of interaction with the faculty, which is, I think, what makes it really unusual among music festivals. And that's my favorite part, because I love to have that one-on-one time, and also maybe one on several time in sectionals, meeting with students and really talking at a high level, perhaps a higher level than students have had time to do in their youth orchestra at home. Students have told me that they are so excited when they get to EMF, because there's so many people who feel the way they do about music. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie. Oh, I see that was Karen Birch Blundell. Sorry, I couldn't see the picture icon. My glasses don't do computer very well, so I
can just barely make it out. So Karen came on. Karen is one of our wonderful oboe faculty members, Karen Birch Blundell, and we have alumni Lizzie Lim coming in.
Yep. Who was a violinist for a couple of summers at EMF. It's always nice to see our alumni hanging out in here and saying hello.
And
dinner time. Well, you can make something for me, because I don't have anything for after this.
That's right.
Can I join you?
Well, that's kind of like being at EMF for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Lizzie said
That's right.
4 summers. So it's nice to have you back. Are you coming back this summer? I wonder if she's coming back this summer or not.
I think she's aged out for our regular program, but I don't know if she planned on applying for a fellowship or something else. But
there's so much going on at EMF. I think for both faculty and students, one of the pleasures is going to concerts every night. And so and it's easy to get there from the dormitories. There are buses. That's always a pleasure. I love go to more concerts in the summer than all year.
Let's see. Oh, you got a birthday coming up soon. Well, congratulations and happy early birthday to you, Lizzie.
Lizzie. Well, come visit us. Come visit. Yeah. So the chat includes the fellowships is another category of participation at Eastern between being a student and a faculty member. And that's a wonderful opportunity for usually people who have already completed most of their education or are actually entering graduate school.
Yeah, we have several different fellowship programs. We have our string fellowship program, and that is for violin, viola, and cello. We have typically 3 quartets that we put together, and they play with the faculty orchestra, but they also do performances as a quartet and do some community outreach in libraries and other things during their tenure at EMF. We also have a trombone fellowship this year and a piano fellowship. Those are the ones that are available for this coming summer. Let's see who. Oh, it's Marta. Hi, Marta.
Oh, good. Hi, Marta. Hey, one of our wonderful cello faculty members, and we always find each section does its own style of socializing. From the beginning of the festival through the end, there's a wonderful spirit. Each section seems to have events that are both social and helpful professionally. I know the oboists have a read seminar and hangout time with great with faculty.
I see a comment from Kayla. What will the COVID restrictions look like? Right now, we are currently working with Guilford College as well as the state of North Carolina and the CDC to best determine what we are able to do successfully during the summer. We still plan on having an in-person program. It may be a little bit different than we have had in the past, just because we'll need to be following different, guidelines that we would normally have. We probably most likely will have single person occupancy rooms instead of double person occupancy, so that we can, make sure everybody has their own little safe space that they can go. Most definitely we will have testing done upon arrival, and we will have testing probably within a week of arrival, just to make sure those who've been traveling across the country are good to go. If we do have any instances of positive tests, we will have protocol in place so that those folks will be, I hate to use the word isolated, but put in their own place so that we can make sure they get the proper care that they need. We will be working with a company this summer who will be doing the testing for us. So we should have fairly quick turnaround time and be able to, have answers as quickly as possible. But the bottom line is the safety and health of all of our participants is absolute priority number 1. So we're going to make sure that we do everything possible to ensure that safety. And, that's what we want to do, because that's as important as anything. So hopefully that helps you, Kayla. Did that sort of answer the question for you, I hope? It certainly will be a little different, from all perspectives, because it's something we've never had to do before, but we definitely will take care of everyone and make sure that everyone is safe. Okay, thanks, Kayla. I'm glad that helped. So, but at any time, if anybody has any questions about anything, you can reach out to me by email or phone, whichever is preferable to you, or text. Things will likely change in the coming months as we get more vaccinations out there for folks. And, we know that guidelines will likely change some in the next couple of months, but, we will be making sure that we're following all the proper protocol in terms of number of people on stage, how many people can go into the dining room, or will we have to have a pickup, box lunches from the dining hall or something of that nature, just to make sure that we have as little contact with, multiple occupants as possible. So, all right. Thanks for that's my email address that's listed there. Again, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm usually pretty good about keeping my phone attached to my hip, so you can I should be able to answer in a timely manner.
Including during the festival. I've always been impressed with how close contact you keep with all the things that are going on at every minute of the day during the festival.
Yeah. Well, this is sort of everybody's sort of my surrogate child in the summertime. So
right.
I'm the mother hen, I guess. So I like to, make sure everybody's doing well, and you can always stop by and talk to me at any time about anything. It doesn't matter to me. I will be happy to listen. And if I have any advice, I will offer it. If not, I'll just listen.
You need to know what's happening on any given day. Just go to Melissa. You'll know.
That's right.
So it's true. It's really true. I think we've always had a Facebook communication for during the festival.
Yes.
Right. So,
yes. All right. Any other questions out there?
Have you talked about the guitar summit and the euphonium and tuba?
We have several different programs. We have our orchestral program. We have a piano division, and those are 5-week programs. And we have a conducting scholar program. That's also a 5-week program. And then we have 2-week programs. We have a guitar summit, and we have a Euphonium Tuba Institute. And the Euphonium Tuba Institute's the first 2 weeks of the festival, and the guitar is the last 2 weeks. So we split them up, and they're shorter programs during the summer. But we have lots of great music during the summer because of the variety of the programs that are performing. So, one night you might be listening to a guitar group. The next night you might be listening to euphonium tuba, or, faculty chamber, or a piano solo, or, you just never know. There's all kinds of really creative repertoire, and just lots of options to listen to a bunch of music that, you may know well, or you may never have heard of, but, you get the opportunity to hear some really neat stuff. So
that's right.
It's a very nurturing environment.
It is. I think it's always felt that students feel really safe. Also, they can attend master classes given by faculty of different instruments when those are given as guest master classes, and that's always been one of my favorite things, is that I can go and see a really great artist on piano on our faculty, William Wolfram, or I can go see a guest artist who comes in who plays an instrument that's not my instrument. And I always encourage students to go to the master classes, even if it's not their instrument.
Absolutely. You can learn a ton just by listening to other instruments, because music is music, and just because you don't play that instrument doesn't mean you can't take away some important information or guidance from that kind of participation.
Exactly.
One thing that we will likely have more of this coming summer will be chamber music. just because, some of the stages or rehearsal spaces, we may not be able to have the same full capacity that we've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So we will probably have some smaller ensembles in some of those spaces so that we can have, even more opportunities for unique chamber music situations, just because, because of the, facilities themselves. But so you might hear a lot of really neat music for, a brass choir or a trombone choir or a cello choir or something,
Right.
just that you might not hear typically, just because we'll have the opportunity to branch out in that area a little more, because that is a little safer in terms of, contact. I see a comment from Josh.
Hello,
We're
Josh.
still planning on operating with a full orchestra. Some of it may be limited just because we can't. It's doubtful that we can do a full Mahler symphony or something like that on Dana stage, just because of the space. But we are also looking at doing some outside performances, possibly, because it is definitely safer to do that. At this point, it's still a little up in the air in terms of what we're going to do specific repertoire wise. But, there, other than potentially doing a Mahler symphony on stage, I don't know that there's really anything off the table at this point. But it's looking more that it will be larger chamber works, will be, in greater, lost train of thought. We'll have more of that this summer.
That's right.
But we'll still have some large ensemble opportunities. It's maybe, different, repertoire than we have done in the past. But I think everybody would understand that, obviously we need to keep everybody safe, and but we still want to give you a wonderful experience at EMF.
Yeah. And I think no matter which way we go, because of course things are changing, EMF has always had a big emphasis on chamber music, the orchestra's giant chamber music, and the idea of playing with other people and knowing how to do that, how to balance one's instrument, no matter what size ensemble you're in. That will remain, I think, the focus of a lot of the teaching and work that goes on in EMF. People really learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Thank
Other
you.
questions? Well, I guess while we're waiting for other questions, the dining situation will probably be a very different beast this summer. I know that Guilford is currently there. I don't think they're allowing students into the dining hall, or if they are, it's very limited. They have told us that they're basically doing some delivery service to people in the dorm. So I'm not sure what kinds of options they have right now, but they said that, they could also do some service outside, if we set up a big tent, that they could do some of the dining hall, service there. So it is going to be a little different, but, they seem to believe that they can make sure that everybody gets taken care of. And they've actually had these protocols in place, while they've had some in-person classes going on in the spring and in the fall. But so we're working with them to find out what the best options for a program like ours is in the summertime. Mm-hmm. Josh asks, when should the full calendar be announced? I honestly don't know the answer to that, Josh. Typically we are working on that right now, but until we get a better handle on what we're going to be able to do, I don't know that we can really speculate on what that rep might be at the moment. Maybe in another month or so, but it's definitely probably going to be closer to the summer before we will have, anything more available. Josh, I would just check back, in a month or so, just check the website. We'll have a calendar there with information, and, just keep an eye on it and see what happens.
We've had some great sectionals outside.
Yeah.
We didn't do it.
Doing a lot of that this summer.
Well, but it's funny to remember when we didn't have to do it. We did it just because it was a beautiful day and we moved everybody outside. Yep. So it's nice to imagine weather warm enough to do that. I don't know about you. It's here. So, that's a huge advantage. We have the possibility of doing something outside.
Yeah. And there are some beautiful days.
There really are. It's
campus is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I love.
Well, we hope so too, Josh. So you'll have to come to some concerts. Let's see other things. Is anybody out there that is currently in the process of applying? I'm glad you were too, Lizzie.
So perhaps you can tell people what would be the steps of applying if they have done nothing yet.
Sure. If you haven't done anything, the application is on Accepted, which is a company that we use to house all the applications and audition materials. You'll just go to their website and fill out an application. You'll need to check out the audition requirements for each instrument because they are different for each one. And so then you can record your materials and then upload them to your application and submit it. It's a fairly easy process. And if you have any questions or problems or issues, again, reach out to me. The application deadline is February the 21st. However, we will continue to take applications until all the positions are filled. So if you end up running a little late, then just reach out to me and let me know that, I've started an application. I promise it'll get in 2 days later. Just let me know. Then that way I can be looking for it and know that, you're going to be submitting one. I will say that some of the instruments, we don't recommend you waiting until after the 21st. Things like flute or clarinet or, oh, it's my cat. Some of the instruments where we get a lot of applicants, those are very competitive spots. So those will fill up pretty quickly. But again, just reach out to me if there's going to be an issue, and then I can give you better guidance on what you need to do. They posted the app thing. Okie doke. This is Michaela. This is one of my two cats. She's the nosy one, so she usually is a visitor when I do these sessions. The other one is very shy. So let's see. Anything else I missed?
So joined to that idea is the application for financial assistance is joined to that process.
Yes. We do have two types of scholarship. We have merit, which is based on the audition itself. And then we have need-based or work study scholarship that is based truly on financial need. Most of the time, people will apply for one or both. And, even if you think work study-wise that, you don't know that your family would necessarily qualify, go ahead and go through the process because then that gives me more options. Most of my scholarship is work study based. So I may not be able to give you a lot of merit scholarship, but I may be able to offer you some of both to help sort of meet the distance between what you can do and our cost. So definitely don't be afraid to apply for it. But the guitar program, the conducting program, and the Tuba Euphonium Institute, those only have merit scholarship. We do not have work study money available for those three programs. but it's all part of the application process. When you fill out the application, you can indicate if you don't need scholarship or if you do and which type. If you're applying for need-based, there will be more questions that you will need to answer, and you will need to also submit pages with your most recent 1040 tax form for us to review for that. But if you do that, just make sure you mark through all the social security numbers and bank routing numbers or anything like that, because we don't want your information compromised if you choose to email it to me. And I will let you know that once we have made our scholarship decisions, those are shredded immediately. So we don't keep those around and keep them in-house once our decisions are made. So we also want to make sure we protect your identities.
And Melissa, I remember one time you told me that there was a percentage of students at EMF who were getting some kind of assistance. It was very
typically it's between 80 to 85% of our students receive some form of scholarship, whether it be merit or need-based or both. So it's a pretty high percentage. You know, every year is a little different, but you know, that's roughly the average, which I think is pretty high considering.
It is.
Yeah.
And Melissa knows all the nuts and bolts, but I can attest that I've had several students come to EMF who didn't plan to apply, and they told me, well, I'm sure I can't afford it. And I told them, just apply, see what happens. And they all were able to come with significant financial assistance. So you don't really know until you go through the process.
Yeah, I mean, don't let money be the reason that you don't apply. I mean, we will do the best we can to try to help you out as much as possible. And if at any point you have any concerns about just applying in general, reach out to me. I may be able to help. All right. Any other? Ow. Cat just bit me. Any other questions? Trying to think. Housing wise, I can give you a little idea of what housing is like at Guilford College. We have two main facilities that we use for our students. We have one dorm facility, which has recently been renovated, that will be housing students ages 14 up to the age of 18. Those in the dorms, they're separated by gender, by floor. And then on each floor, we have counselors that live on the same wing and the same floor area that the students do. So the younger students have a lot of supervision. That building is also where the counselor's office is located. My office will be there and a lot of other staff offices. So there's tons of supervision in that younger dorm. And then the other facility is for those who are 18 and above. Again, they're housed by gender, by floor, and there are counselors that live on the floors there too. But obviously the older students are adults, and they have much, I don't want to say less supervision, but they're, you know, adults and are able to kind of be adults. I mean, there still are policies and procedures they will have to follow, but they're not as restrictive as it is for the younger students, but that's for a reason. So we want to make sure that, you know, they're taken care of.
And people are very responsible. That's one of the things I really love. In the chat, I've just been asked about my favorite things. And I think I enjoy the students and their seriousness so much. But going with that seriousness is joy of music making too. So, you know, in one session, they could be really intensely focused on figuring out how to phrase something and getting very detailed about how they're going to phrase something. And the next minute, they're off playing ping pong or a lot of fun things that they can do. So I feel like it's a really good combination of a place of real serious work, and intense work, but having time to enjoy the campus and each other and things like that. I guess what my favorite thing is, I really just enjoy the people, and some of the faculty are dear friends because I've known them for a long time. So that creates a certain ability to work with students students well, since we all know each other's teaching very well. For instance, in the orchestra program, we are always mindful that students should have an experience in orchestra that is very varied. So they're going to work with different conductors. They're going to change orchestras each week, conductors each week. We're going to have different stand partners if they're string players, and they're going to be given assignments as wind players. They're very carefully thought out. I think there's a lot of personal attention and attending to each student's needs. So that's a pleasure for me to work with the other members.
From my perspective, I really appreciate the fact that the faculty are eager to help. I mean, you'll find them talking. Well, of course, it may not be talking in the dining hall this year, but just talking, around campus, and the teachers take the time to give everybody, some extra attention if they need it, or if they have a problem, with some particular piece or section of a piece. They will take the time to help you out to make sure that you're comfortable and that you understand what you're doing. And I think it's that camaraderie between the faculty and the students that really makes it a special place.
I agree. And in the program, I can't speak for the piano program because I don't know exactly what they do, although they're just amazing. Our piano faculty are terrific. In the orchestra program, of course, you have chamber music rehearsals and private lessons and sectionals and orchestra, but there's also a sense of at any moment you can go to a teacher and say, look, I'm having a little trouble. Could I stay a little later, and could you show me how you do this? And I don't know a single teacher who doesn't do that. In fact, I don't know many teachers who don't offer that up front and say, we're all going to meet if you want. And some of us will invite students to meet us at a particular time or have an extra session. So there's I think there's a lot of informal exchange, very much like what you would have with colleagues if you were in, an orchestral or chamber music situation, where if there's a problem with something difficult, you add some time and fix it. That's
and I know our double read faculty, they even have a read room. Of course, that may be changing a little bit this summer too. It may not be quite as close knit, but they do offer times, to help people make reads and just talk about reed making and other things that are particular to those instruments. And other instruments don't have that need, or and so I think the fact that each little faculty group, they really do a great job of saying, okay, horn players, we need to do this, let's get together and let's talk about, how to restring your instrument if you have strings on your horn, or, just things that you might take for granted elsewhere, but, or there might just be a new technique or a new something that everybody's talking about, and just having access to all of that knowledge is, to me, just one of the best things that you can have. And
it is. There's not as much separation.
Time. Yeah.
There's not as much separation between faculty and students as there is, I think, in maybe a larger festival. So a lot of the faculty eat in the cafeteria, and will invite students to join them, or they'll join students. So it's not obligatory, but certainly there's a lot of chances to have informal chat about music with them.
Yep, and we offer some breaks from the seriousness and play soccer or capture the flag or frisbee or whatever, or bowling,
bowling every year
or something. And so you'll find faculty participating in those events too, and I just think it's really a neat environment. So.
It really is. In fact, I think there's a video done by alumni, isn't there, that's accessible? I don't know. Is it on the website? A video talking about their experience at EMF? Is it still on the website?
There is. It's on our website. Yeah, there's a longer version and a shorter version, but it is some of our participants from previous summers that talk about their experiences while they're at EMF. But yeah, those are available on our website. But so if you haven't checked them out, you should.
Yeah, there's several
Let's see.
good difference there.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. The campus in general is located in sort of a suburb-ish area of Greensboro. There are, while it is an open campus, there are some places just across the street from the campus if you need shopping or things of that nature. It's not a place that's extremely isolated from from people. So, if you need just things, there's like even an frozen yogurt place. There's some restaurants. There's, grocery stores, pharmacies, and things like that are within a short walking distance. And very often students will go off campus and get some frozen yogurt or something, just to break up the day. But so it's not a place that, you have to get a cab to get to civilization.
Right. And Melissa, you work with the counselors to arrange outings, right? Where they have vans and they actually take trips away from campus.
Yeah. Because typically, some of the older students, they will drive their vehicles and they are free to, go off campus when they're not involved in rehearsals or something of that nature. But especially for the younger students that don't have that ability, we make some trips to the music store, or we'll make a trip to, a mall or a, Target or somewhere if you need to get a few things while you're there. So, we do some outings of that nature. But, and we do, for those of who wish to attend religious services, we do work to provide transportation for that as well.
And there are performances off campus by students as well, right? Some chamber music performances.
Yeah, some of the chamber music groups will play off campus, and transportation is provided for those by the festival.
That's good. One thing about private lessons is there's one per week included in tuition, but some students choose to arrange with faculty members to get either more lessons or lessons with a faculty member who is not their assigned teacher for the summer. So that's quite flexible.
Yeah, and for people who have auxiliary instruments like I'm just thinking bassoon, if they want to take some contra lessons, they can work that out occasionally with faculty. Or for oboe, English horn, I know Karen's always willing to help out on English horn. So there are other opportunities to take lessons on an auxiliary instrument, as long as it's something that we have at the festival, of course. But so that's always a possibility as well.
One of the other things that I think is very enriching that's recent is the conducting seminar, and students have the opportunity to see conducting being learned, and they can see the difference that occurs with gestures. And watching Maestro Schwartz give tips to his students and guide them, I think is a great experience for students, even if they have no desire to conduct in their life. I think it's a really good thing to understand the complexity. So that's a big part of what.
Absolutely, because you're going to have multiple conductors in your lifetime, and it's always good to know. Everybody is different, and they all do things differently. So the easier you are able to sort of be flexible as a musician, and knowing that you're not always going to see everybody conduct everything the same way. I think that's also a very helpful skill to make it so it's easier to survive in the real world.
Exactly. And I think the three different levels, faculty, fellows, and students mean that there's a very collegial communication habit among people. People give constructive comments to each other. There's less of a sense that the faculty are sitting at the front saying, that's not the right.
Yeah. Well, I know that, you know, in 2019, you know, you would always find the conductors at a little table in the dining hall. I mean, they would just be there, and two of the conducting faculty would be there with them. And it was like this little, I don't know if it's a gaggle of conductors or what you would call it, but they were always there picking each other's brains, and it was wonderful. I mean, you know, so they would be learning while they were dining as well as when they were on the podium or in the classroom. So just having
the other thing that happens in the cafeteria is that students share their further schooling searches with each other. You know, if they're about to apply for colleges, they're all sharing what they learned. That can be, I think, a terrific advantage. Learning about
that's one other thing I'm hoping we can have this year, but I don't know, is the college fair. We do offer it's a 1-day, 2-hour event where we get colleges from all over the country. And typically we have between 38 and 40 colleges and universities and conservatories from across the U.S. who are there to recruit from our students. And that's a testament, I think, in the quality of program that we have, but it's also, you know, gives them the opportunity to reach out to our students. But I don't know if we'll be able to have that this year, or maybe have to just do it differently. We don't know, but I think that's something that's always been a really neat aspect. And even if you weren't looking for undergraduate work, they are also there to talk to students who are looking to do graduate studies. So, you know, you can get a lot of information. They always bring lots of handouts and goodies, and gives you a chance to, you know, have sort of a one-stop shop to get information from some of the major programs and help make your decisions.
And every student has a lot of contact with multiple faculty members. So that's another chance to ask about teachers and all those things.
Yep, absolutely. Well, any more questions out there?
Oh, future AMAs. So future,
okay.
Ask me anything.
Yep, so we've got February the 5th at 7 p.m. I'll be hanging out with Demondre Thurman and Aaron Tyndall, our tuba euphonium faculty. So that should be a great time. And then on the 6th, I'll be hanging out with Cammie Rowan, one of our guitar faculty. So that should be fun as well. And then I think the next one is with Chauncey Patterson. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Good.
So yeah. Lots of chances for you to see my cat.
Excellent. The cat's getting very good at walking right in front of the camera.
Yep. So, but yeah, make note of all those future AMAs coming up in the next couple of weeks, and bring your questions, and I'll be happy to help you out. And, but again, anytime, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help. So I guess we're about ready to call it a night. So I want to thank Amy for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. I haven't gotten to see her for, let's see,
in a year and a half.
So yeah, it's been a while. So even if it's virtual, it's still a visit nonetheless. But so thanks for being here and talking about your experiences as being a faculty member. It's definitely appreciated, and I think it's been a good chat.
It has. And anything else you think of, just email Melissa. She's great. She'll respond right away. She's amazing.
So I guess that's it. So we'll sign off. Thanks, Amy. And